Hello, my name is Darcy Watkins. I'm your host for this video. I'm going to talk about the why and how to take a Roland DP-10 sustain pedal and turn it into one that has a dual outputs so that you can control two keyboards from the one pedal at the same time. So first let's go into the why. Any who are familiar with using a DAW like Mainstage or Ableton Live or Gig Performer or Reaper to do all your sounds in software, you have no difficulty taking a single controller, putting it into a keyboard that you're using as a controller, not as a sound source. You can put it all into one engine, and then you can map different spots of the keyboards into various sounds or like different tracks. So a while back, I decided to get away from that and try doing it in hardware. On the bottom tier of a stack, I would put a stage piano like my Roland RD-800 or our church's Nord Stage 2. Then I would stack on top of it a Roland XP30 synthesizer, and other times an even older Roland JV80 synthesizer. But what I ran into a while back, and I've observed it, and it seems to be on a lot of keyboards, is if you trigger notes using MIDI from a different keyboard, the sustain from that keyboard will go in MIDI and hold those notes, but the local one won't. So I send notes from keyboard 1 into keyboard 2, and the pedal on keyboard 2 will not hold the notes that come in through MIDI, and vice versa. This here is my studio setup in my home. Normally when I'm playing live, I will have them stacked on a keyboard stand that has multiple tiers. Here in my home studio, I have the synth off to the side, and I have my stage piano set up as the main keyboard that I usually play on. The goal is to take a Roland DP-10 and modify it so that we have two outputs, so that it can be used as a sustain pedal for two keyboards at the same time. We are going to need the DP-10 pedal itself and a wire to add to it. And now we're going to open up the DP-10 and pull it out of the box. Essentially what you have is there's a switch on here. When it's in one mode position, it is in continuous mode. When it's in other position, it is in what is called a switch or discrete mode. The continuous mode is like an expression pedal. It gives you a continuous voltage from the pedal up to the pedal down, and the switch is just an actual switch. So what we're actually going to do is separate the switch from this selector switch here, and we're going to directly wire it to the second wire. So then one wire will be permanently switched to continuous mode, and the other wire will be permanently connected to the switch mode. Start by flipping it over. You actually don't have to undo that screw, but you do need to undo the screws that are hidden by it. So we take that one out, and we take this one out, and then these ones here are nice show screws. And this pops out, and the bottom plate comes off. See that? Now we get to look inside. What you have is a pedal activated continuous controller that is wired up there, and it comes into this little thing on the board there, and then way down in there, right down, it comes in contact is a tiny little switch, and that's the switch. This here is the slide switch, and you'll see that the wire comes in and wraps around that item there, and then this board just kind of nicely slides out. So here you can see it, maybe not quite as good as we like, but there we go. There's the switch, and there's the slides for the two modes, and there's where the continuous comes in. Next, we're going to cut the traces. For this, I need my Honey, I Shrunk the Kid glasses, and I'm going to use this Dremel tool with a little carving bit to try and cut the traces. So we take this here, and just make sure we get the wire out of the way. So like I said before, we're going to cut this one here. We don't want to cut this small one next to it, otherwise we got to fix it because it's actually used. So let's give it a try. Okay, that actually looks pretty good. And then this one here, I'm just going to cut it over here where it's wide open. You don't have to worry about too much. There. So, what we've done is we isolated this ground trace from the rest. You might wonder why we need to do that, and that is because in musical equipment you can get weird hums and stuff caused by ground loops, and we don't want to have that happen. So we make sure that each of the two cables is completely isolated from the other. After having removed the other trace, we need to now remove J2, which is this jumper right there. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to snip it just so that it's easier to get at when we're grabbing it. You see it's now cut into two pieces, and you grab it and bend it out. There we go. Now we want to grab half of it here and the old soldering iron on here and pull that out. There we go. Now we can grab the other half of it. And there we go. We're ready to add the second wire to it. So now it's the second wire itself. So we have a nice long wire. As you can see, we now have it soldered together, and now it's how to reassemble it back together. And Make sure the strain relief and everything works as we want it to. And so we're going to stick, line that up with there, and then slide that down into there. It goes in. Okay, so a bit of a nightmare. I went through all the film footage to mix it down, and all the stuff at the end just was totally messed up. The cameras failed, batteries died or something like that. All I found was 1 5-second footage of me uttering expletives, probably as I discovered that everything had failed. So, I don't know. Do I end this kind of like the way they ended Monty Python and the Holy Grail? Or maybe the way they ended Start the Revolution Without Me? Nah, maybe we'll end it the way they do it in the cooking shows. We'll just have a prepared final product, pull it out of the oven, and away we go, and we can wrap it up. And here we have the finished product. You see 2 cables. It's all nicely zapped using a tie wrap or a Velcro strip. And this is the original cable with the tip ring sleeve that has the continuous output. And this is the added cable, which is tip sleeve for the switch output. And the switch itself stays in the continuous position, because if you put it to the switch position, you get nothing on that output.